Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Mr. Marc, for letting me introduce Marc Alexis Remond. So, Marc Alexis Remond is my colleague from Polycom. He is based out of Singapore. You can see him right now on the screen. Marc is basically Director, Enterprise Solutions and Market Development for Polycom. Until recently, Marc was responsible as Global Director, Government Solutions and Market Development for Polycom. In this role, he developed and was responsible for driving the collaborative government initiative which enables greater service, performance and communication through smarter conversations in public sector. So Mr. Marc Remond has more than 14 years of international experience in the information and communication technology industry. He's a trusted advisor to many senior executives and has worked closely with many public and private organizations. Prior to joining Polycom, Mr. Remond worked for Alcatel-Lucent. During his tenure, he held several senior marketing, business development, and business management roles. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Marc. Hey Marc, this is Vishal here. Are you able to hear me?
Good afternoon, Vishal.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yes, I can hear you and see you very well.
Oh, great, Marc. So how's everything there at Singapore?
It's getting dark. It's about 7:30 p.m. my time.
Oh, so Marc, I would like to thank you for being, being there in office, for quite late for us. Not taking much time, handing over to you. Please go ahead with your presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vishal. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to thank you for having me via video remotely from Singapore. It's a real privilege, and I'm very pleased to be able to share with you how actually technology is transforming the world of education around the world. Before I go into the topic, we need to actually realize that there are a couple of trends affecting the world of education globally. The first one, for instance, is the fact that we have to deal with a new generation of students. We call them the millennium. These students are very tech savvy. They know how to use mobile devices, tablets and laptops very well. Very different generation of students. Also, the way curriculums are being delivered is changing too. Some of you may have heard about massive open online curriculums, otherwise known as MOOC, and this is also challenging the traditional way of transferring knowledge to students. The last one is, of course, a challenge that India and the state of Maharashtra as well is facing around the problem related to access or reach of services, including education and health and so on and so forth. And many organizations, many governments and education institutions are looking at new ways to actually bridge the gap between urban and rural, making sure that those services can actually reach all of the citizen population. Allow me to share a presentation with you while I'm here. So what I'm going to talk about for the next 20 minutes or so is how the future of education is going to be borderless, social, but also very interactive. And to do this, first we're going to get a bit social, right, all together here, even though we are a few hundred kilometers or 1,000 kilometers apart. Then I'll talk a little bit about the technology before moving into the concept of presence in education. Then I'll quickly talk about some of the education programs that exist and are available to education institutions. And finally, in the end, I have a little gift for you for attending the sessions that you will be able to download. So, in a typical classroom, the teacher would ask students to actually turn off mobile phones and do not play with gadgets. But for this session, I'd like to invite you to do the opposite. So if you like to tweet, if you like to follow some people, connect, or share anything, feel free to do so. Take pictures, upload them. You have a couple of Twitter hashtags there for you to do so. This is not a problem at all. So you can do @Polycom alert, -education, or you can actually tag me at Marc Remond. Not a problem at all. Now, some of you may have heard about Polycom, and you definitely know that we are a technology leader in video conferencing. The assumption is that the savings of video conferencing are all related to travel. So it's all about saving times, cost, risk, and reducing carbon emissions. How many of you in this room would like to agree with that statement? If you agree, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. I agree, but I need also to disagree. There is so much more this technology can enable, especially in the world of education. Let me share with you how. Well, some of you may think about video technology, and you may think about Skype, Google Talk, and FaceTime and other solutions, which are not adequate for education institutions. And why? Very simple reasons. These solutions were designed for consumers, for personal use. They are not ideal for group collaboration and not ideal for a classroom. I'm sure that some of you have tried to set up a PC in a classroom with Skype and had a bad experience. That is a common challenge. And all of those islands of videos actually can't talk to each other. So a Skype user cannot talk to a Google Talk user. And of course there are issues around security and compliance when the video call is going through servers that are not controlled by the university or the government organization. On the other hand, the enterprise-grade solutions are a different story. They're all about, connecting people over video using all kinds of devices. Whether you want to use room systems, tablets, laptops, it doesn't really matter. And what we're talking about is actually high-definition video as well as high-definition audio and content, which can be also important in medical education as much as sound quality. And what I'm going to be sharing with you during my presentation later is the ability to do whiteboarding during a presentation, and so on and so forth. The point is, enterprise-grade solutions were designed to meet the needs of education institutions. So we've come a long way in terms of technology, right? Back in 1992, it was all about video conferencing, and then in 98 we introduced video conferencing. Then later on we had some immersive telepresence type of solution coming to market. And obviously in 2011, video collaboration became software-based. So it's now available on tablets and smartphones, for instance. Last year it moved to the cloud. Right? So I heard you just talk about the cloud. Well, video can be delivered from the cloud if you wish to have it so. And now this year is even going further, which is going to be made available, through browser-based type of solutions, which is going to change the way students will have access to this technology. Now, of course, when we talk about video, people may ask why. Well, this technology appears to be the best compromise. The best compromise between having local instructors that go around the state, around the country to train students, or putting everything online, which is fine. You can put all of the content that you want online, but there is little interactivity between the student and whatever content is on the web. So in between, that's where the technology plays a key role in order to enable blended learning. Just to give you an example, some research have shown that actually video conferencing enables students to score higher, especially when we talk about cognitive indicators. And they tend to be more motivated to learn more about the topic outside of whatever presentation material was shared by the educator. And why is this? Well, it's because the session is extremely interactive. It is a synchronous communication, and it's not asynchronous like some of the e-learning programs available today. So moving away from the technology, let me share with you how is it going to be applied in education, and how is it applied today actually all around the world. So remember, right, when we had to go into the classroom and answer to the teachers, yes, I'm present, I'm in the classroom. Well, this is all changing. Presence is becoming more virtual, if I may say that. Today, people are going to the classroom, but they are going to a flipped classroom. They are not going there just to listen to what the teacher has to say. They are going there for a mentoring session. They are going there for a coaching session. So students are asked to go through the curriculum online before they go into the classroom. So even the classroom itself is changing. Then, of course, because students have all kinds of devices now, the classroom has become virtual. So they can connect and join a virtual classroom through any kind of device. But of course you have the web element with the e-learning piece, and now it's actually quite obvious that students are highly connected and highly social. They are now using forums for discussions to enable collaborative learning. So presence, the concept of being present in a class, could be in the classroom, could be from home using my laptop, it could be from me going through a curriculum on the web, or it could be me discussing something in a forum on Facebook. This is where education is going. And of course video can be enabled in the classroom virtually. Videos are of course downloadable from the web, but video can be enabled for collaboration within social networks as well. So let's talk about the classroom, for instance. So the classroom can be pretty much anything. It can be an immersive classroom, like the one you see at the bottom. It can be more collaborative with some annotation and whiteboarding capabilities, or it can be customized, right? Depending on the solution you're looking for a university, for instance. So those are some of the examples of video-enabled amphitheaters and lecture halls that exist around the world. Pretty much anything can be done. You have the immersive classroom, which really offers a window into another classroom, and that's the case of Duke University, and this is how they connect to their extended campus in Doha, Qatar, using immersive technology in the classroom. And it can be collaborative, like pretty much the solution that I have in front of me here, with the ability to do multi-party high-definition video, audio, as well as share content, right? I can connect to this system pretty much anything that I want to share with you real time, and I can make annotation, right? So talking about annotation, why not I show you what do we mean? Right, so using a screen next to me here, I have the ability to annotate on my presentation, right? And this content can come from a laptop, like you can see here. It can come from a tablet that is connected to the system itself. It could be the Apple TV, where all the ebooks have been uploaded, and the teacher needs to access all of that content as well. Or it can be a document camera, like the one you can see here on the picture. And if you want to do whiteboarding or blackboarding, you have the ability to do that as well, and make annotation just like if you were using a smartboard, right? But of course, if you're in sciences and you need a live subject, that's no problem, right? I could, move to the side here where I have a document camera and actually look at a live sample and share it in real time. And again, I have the ability to make annotation on a live subject as well, as you can see here on the screen. So this is what we're talking about, two-way collaboration and sharing content between the teacher and the students remotely in a very interactive way, as you can see. So moving on. Just waiting for the content to refresh. Okay. So you can make annotations, that's not a problem. Students can connect to the classroom using laptops. They can use tablets as well or smartphone. It doesn't really matter. And whatever kind of information is shared, data is shared, and whatever annotation is made on the content can be seen on all kinds of devices. Right? So these type of solutions are available to really break the distance that exists today between some of the teachers and students. You can connect using all kinds of equipment, and of course, the most important is that whatever is being delivered during the lecture can be captured. And we're talking about audio, video, as well as content and annotation, which can be made available live through live video stream, or on demand, so that students can have access to it at a later date. So now this is happening all around the world, and the kind of topics and areas that can be discussed using this technology is pretty broad. It's happening today in Korea around science and technology. Public policies are being discussed around the world by universities who are already equipped with this technology. But what about biology, literature and astronomy as well? Here is an example on how,
Mr.
let's
Marc.
say, a diver in an aquarium at the Great Barrier Reef is able to have an interaction with some of the remote students. Music and the arts is something that can be done as well, not a problem. Not a problem, I'll do that. Actually, I'm almost there. Medical education can also be done, and it's happening in India, as you can see here on the right side of the screen. Professor Mishra, for instance, does a lot of medical education at the Sanjay Gandhi Postgraduate Institute of Medical Sciences today. We talk about the e-learning piece, so I will move forward, but I really want to talk for 30 seconds about the social piece of learning. And this is really something that is revolutionizing the way students have access to live lectures. And this is the ability to bridge all of those items and video, bringing Skype users, Google Talk users, and Facebook users into the classroom in a secure way using a web browser. And this is the kind of solution that we can talk more about. Again, a multi-party video solution using a web browser for all students connected to a virtual classroom, and all of them can be connected using their social network of preference. Okay? So if I just go in quickly to wrap this up in a few points, enterprise-grade solutions, really help break the boundaries of cost, time, and distance, as we mentioned. But it's more about transforming the remote education experience. It's about the blended learning. The knowledge retention will be higher because it's more interactive, collaborative, social in aspects. Content is key, obviously, having access to subject matter expert and engaging programs being delivered. And as I said, this can be delivered from a private cloud, public cloud, or a mix of both, which is the hybrid cloud. With this, if you want to try what video looks like on a tablet or a smartphone, I invite you to actually download the Polycom application from the App Store or the Android market. You can use it, it's free of charge. So with this, I thank you for your attention. and enjoy the rest of the panel.